And you're listening to Retweet. And this week's topic, we're going to be talking about the pressures of being a first-gen student and just like person in your household, and then the pressures that come along with trying to meet your parents' expectations, as well as balancing your own happiness.
And today we have a really special guest, one of our very first strong supporters of the podcast.
Yes.
We have Mooj.
Hello everybody, my name is Gustavo, and I'm happy to be here.
The correct pronunciation, I'm sorry y'all, I'm not problematic. I just don't want to mess up on the mic.
No, it's all good.
Yeah,
It's all good,
we're gonna
honestly.
go with Mooj.
We're just going to go for the Mooj for the podcast.
For the episode.
For the episode.
The thing that stayed constant through that entire time was my parents' expectations of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like, oh, you must always attend school, you must always perform your best, you must always do these things. And coming from somebody who hasn't always had the most luxurious childhood, you kind of feel like the pressure either being instilled upon you, or you start thinking about it yourself. You think hey, I'm putting myself in this opportunity, I'm doing well in school, I'm gonna go to university, I'm gonna save the rest of the family.
I think I definitely feel that too, and a lot of the decisions that I make, I'll sometimes ask myself what do I actually want? I really had an existential crisis the other day. Actually, coming out of just graduating, I was like, did I just get a degree for myself? Did I get it for my parents? Did I, what do I actually want to do? What do I like? What makes me happy?
When my parents came to Canada, I think my mom became a nurse.
Okay.
But she became a nurse, and I think it took her dead ass 2 months or something. She got a certificate, and then all of a sudden she was a nurse. And also, tuition would have been way cheaper for her.
Yeah.
And so it's just a different system, but they don't understand that. I'll be in my room studying for hours. When you're a full-time student, it is what it is. It's full-time. You wake up in the morning, you think about school. You go to bed at night thinking about all the things you're going to have to do tomorrow for school.
Hard to describe what you're doing in school to your parents when they don't understand what you're doing in school. I think sometimes immigrants will hear political science and they think I'm in science, and I'm like, I don't know how to break it to you, baby.
I'm in
not
social
that.
science.
I think there's just a very big lack of understanding of how the schooling system actually works. Are we that much are we that much weaker than our parents? I always think about that. Yeah, because a lot of people make the argument that our generation is lazy, or they're sensitive, or they're all those things, and it's is that actually true?
We have it, quote unquote, easier than our parents ever did. I haven't ever lived in a house that didn't have air conditioning, right? We did have it easier, but we have a whole new level of struggles that we deal with, and they had no idea about.
Let's move on Twitter. Very on brand for a retweet, but it was a kid holding it was a joke, but it was a kid holding a weight, and it was being an immigrant child, being a marriage counselor, being someone who helps them with their finances, someone who's a student, someone who wants to be a good friend, someone who wants to be a good sibling. People who are the oldest siblings, they're parents themselves.
Yeah.
So it's I think that immigrant parents are so admirable. When I see them, it's such an incredible thing, but truly immigrant children do not get the credit they deserve. I can't describe it to someone who hasn't been through it. It's so hard going home and being in a different environment and a different cultural need or cultural wants than leaving and going to school. Really, a small example, I guess. So in my family, everyone kind of just speaks over each other.
Okay,
Everyone speaks over each other, and we also when you eat in Jeddah, you just have a huge plate and everyone shares food.
Yeah.
So this is the way it is in my house. I go to school. My teacher is speaking to me, or my friends are speaking to me, and maybe I'm speaking over them because that's what I know at home. I'm sharing food because that's what I know at home. Now I'm getting yelled at, I'm getting in trouble, I'm getting policed for things that I actually don't know are wrong. It's just I'm between two cultures, they're teaching me two different things, and I have to just behave and learn how to code switch. Well, that your cultural behavior, your home behavior is wrong. And you're getting policed to be assimilated in this different culture while you're trying to grow up and teach your parents.
It's so hard. Being an immigrant child is so much more than not being able to go sleepovers.
Eastern cultures per se, they kind of are a lot more collectivist compared to North American cultures. So for them, it's we feed all of that back into us, while we're being raised in a complete opposite place where it's everybody here is individualistic.
Yes.
And so when you talk to your quote unquote non-immigrant friends or people who don't go through the same experience as you, they're saying okay, cool, but you don't have to do that for them.
You don't hear for the most part, I don't hear my white friends saying I need to grow up, I need to go to school, I need to get a good job so I can make money, so I can buy this house for my parents. There's not that burden of doing
Giving
everything
back,
in your
yeah.
life for your parents. For white people, I feel like they just are just like, yeah, my parents just want me to be happy, and they're just living their. Unless I'm not gonna say that as a generalization. Like I'm sure.
Everybody has.
Yeah,
their
everyone
fears.
has their shit, but like for the most part, I don't really hear that. I think like a lot of people talk about like the toxic parenting styles from like immigrants and stuff like that, but I feel like there's a lot of good that came out of the way
for
that
sure,
I was
yeah.
raised. It definitely instilled a sense of hard work. Like my mom and my dad are very, very hardworking. Like these people came to Canada with nothing. I also learned a lot about taking accountability for my actions, which is what me and Lydia talked about.
Yeah.
Like if you did that, if you broke that, like I'm sorry, you did it. Like you
your
will be
parents will yell at you,
punished.
and you'll just sit there and take it in.
Oh,
You'll be like,
no,
yeah.
yes,
there's
mom, I did it.
There's no feelings like, I'm sorry, honey, how do you feel about that? No, you did
It's
that.
not your
Yeah.
fault. No, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Man, but if I ever broke anything, I had to put it back together. Like in my house. Like,
So you
So
gave him the
immigrant.
glue.
like